Today we're going to be going into the storylines mode, which is basically just different moments.
One of the little-known factoids about the Negro Leagues, and I think it's something that gives baseball fans an understanding of the immediate impact that the Negro Leagues had on Major League Baseball after Jackie Robinson breaks the color barrier in 1947, is the fact that from 1949 through 1959, 9 of 11 National League MVPs were former Negro League stars. Well, the great Roy Campanella won 3 of those MVPs.
Roy Campanella aims to catch the flying Phils as he blasts a tremendous 3-bagger to right center field.
Campy, as he was affectionately known, started his legendary professional baseball career, believe it or not, as a 15-year-old kid catching for a semi-pro team called the Bacharach Giants. He was so impressive that he would later join the Baltimore Elite Giants. Can you imagine a 15-year-old kid catching professionally? But as I tell folks, Roy Campanella was not your typical 15-year-old. Hall of Famer Raleigh Biz Mackey would take a young Roy Campanella under his wing and taught him the art of catching. Roy Campanella would become one of the greatest catchers, not in black baseball history, but in baseball history.
Campy with the throw, pitching for a strike. Tag out.
Got him there, finally.
Roy Campanella cuts down the runner.
Achievement unlocked. The show 2-6. Register a 2-6 out during a game.
In baseball history, 2 of the best defensive pitchers ever, both great hitters and incredible minds for the game.
So runners at the corners. Nobody
Uniforms look horrible. It's like a sack of potatoes they're wearing.
Here's a
that is out of here.
Field, and he knew it.
How far did that go?
Campy had all the tools you needed to be a great catcher. Number one, he was built like a fire plug. They say he weighed 205 pounds when he joined the Elites. He was probably bigger than that, but it was the perfect body type to play catcher. And he had a great arm, a rifle arm, and a quick release. And he threw out a great deal of base runners. It makes me wonder what would have happened had Campy gotten to the major leagues even earlier than what he did. He had already caught for about 9 seasons in the Negro Leagues before he finally gets called up to join the Brooklyn Dodgers. That's a lot of wear and tear on a body, particularly playing that position of catcher. It just makes you wonder. He was already great, but how much greater could he have been if he'd gotten there earlier?
Tally 1 hit, 1 extra base hit, and 2 runs batted in.
Dangerous hitter at the plate. Into center.
Oh, drop out there, please.
Base hit. 1 run
There we
is
go.
in.
Throw it home. Don't you dare throw it a
Crosses
second.
the plate. The relay.
No.
And he's got no chance. Swing and a ball hit out towards left
Drop out
center
there.
field. That's a base
Go to
hit.
third. Go to third.
Throw cut off to second. Not going to
Thank
get
God.
it. He's in there.
Going pretty good so far. It was a little damp getting home. Gotta get another assist here.
Jackie Robinson stepping in to lead off the 6th for the Monarchs. Drag bunt to the left. Campy's after it. Got him. Campanella
Got him.
shuts.
Had the circumstances been a little bit different, Campy likely would have been the first black to play in the major leagues. The Philadelphia Phillies had offered him a tryout, but when the Phillies found out that he was of mixed race, which in this case made him black, they backed away from that notion of signing him. And of course, Roy Campanella would have to wait his turn to get to the major leagues. Branch Rickey had actually set up a meeting with Roy Campanella to talk to him about joining the Dodgers. Roy Campanella declined the offer because he thought that Rickey was talking about the Brooklyn Brown Dodgers, the Negro Leagues team. And when Roy Campanella meets up with Jackie Robinson, he tells him the story, and Jackie says, no, he wants to sign you to the Brooklyn Dodgers. Now, Campy had thought he'd blown his opportunity. He sends a telegraph to Rickey. Rickey responds back, and of course, the rest is history. Roy Campanella's first plate appearance in the major leagues, guess what? He got hit. But that was pretty common for those black players when they made their way into the major leagues. The opposing pitchers were going to send them a message. And I think in many ways they were trying to break their will. And Campy got right back in the batter's box and he started swinging. And as I oftentimes said, with those Negro League players, they not only were swinging to play the game, but they were swinging for hope, justice, and civil rights at the same time.
I'ma do all that I gotta do. Go back to my hood. They say that we proud of you. Over the family, we gotta shoot.
That one is absolutely belted. Carrying well. And boom!
Yeah, that works.
Goes the dynamite.
Famers.
Liner, and this could be trouble.
Oh, that could be extra bases. That should clear the bases, too.
Crosses the plate. Runner around
Oh,
third.
please be safe. Please be safe.
He's safe as he gets his hand
No,
in.
thank you.
And it's
Roy Campanella was well on his way to what would become a Hall of Fame career. He was doing everything you could possibly do in this game, and he was absolutely on a tremendous ascent. 3 MVPs already in his career. He hit 242 home runs while driving in 856 runs in only 1,215 games. A sports writer once described Roy Campanella as being indestructible. And on the baseball diamond, he essentially was. But sadly, a tragic car accident left Roy paralyzed and cut short what would still become a Hall of Fame career after only 10 seasons in the major leagues. And in many ways, that accident snatched the soul away from the Dodgers, because that's the presence that Roy Campanella had on that Dodgers team.
I always believe that any professional athlete, to be good, you have to have a little boy in you.
Now, to Campy's credit, he who had always been a very jovial, jolly giant of a man, Campy would say, the only thing that has been damaged is my body, not my mind. And he would use that baseball mind to help teach a lot of young Dodger prospects and players the intricacies of this game. He spent the last 35 years of his life in a wheelchair, but he spent those 35 years giving back what Biz Mackey had given to him, and that was baseball knowledge.
Back up the middle.
Another comes in to score, and they lead by 2. Roy Campanella, the next to hit. And that one hammered.
Oh, please be a home run.
Off the wall.
Off the wall.
The throw into second.
You can stretch it to 2. Nope. He's going to be out.
Safe at second. He uses the
Oh, he
swing
does the
move to get
tag.
around the tag. One out, man at
Now
first.
we just need a single.
And the batter
Fingers
now,
crossed.
Campanella. Drilled out towards left center
I'd
field.
say that's
well
probably
struck.
a single.
Got a chance, and it bangs off the wall.
Probably a
Got
single.
a chance, and it bangs off the wall.
Yeah, that'll be a
Runner
double.
around third on his way to the plate. He scores to tie it up.
Don't worry about the mule going blind. Just load the wagon and give me the line. That was the great George Suttles, or Mule Suttles, as he was affectionately known by fans of the Negro Leagues for so many years. I guess you could say that was Mule's way to let his teammates know, don't worry, y'all get on my back, and I'll carry you there. And you know what? He did just that. We're talking about a guy who walked softly, but he carried a big stick, a 50-ounce bat. That's a treat. And while he would occasionally strike out, because I can't even imagine what it must be like to try to check swing at 50 ounce, because once you got it started, you got to go. He hit tape-measured home runs, had a lifetime batting average well over 350, so he wasn't just a great power hitter. Mule Suttles was a great hitter with power. He left the coal mines of Alabama to go join the Birmingham Black Barons. But like a lot of rookies, in particular in the Negro Leagues, he didn't necessarily get all the attention that you deserved, even when you're a phenom like Mule Suttles was. Early on, the box scores had his name spelled improperly. They had him listed as Sellers instead of Suttles. So when Mule started to kick, they got the name right, and a superstar baseball career was born.
Thought it was a share at the bottom. How you think I feel on top now? How you think I feel? Magnificent.
Hard liner.
That might be one right there. Yep, there's one.
Runner around third on his way to the plate. He will score, and they take the lead. And there's a rocket
another
into
one.
the outfield, and that's going to get into the corner. Throws to second. Tag, and he's safe. It's a hustle double. Oh my, this one
That's gone.
blasted, and it's not coming back. Mule Suttles pounds a grand slam for the Black Barons. He muscles that one out the opposite way.
Now we just need a
And he
hit.
gives- Sharp grounder, that's through
There
for
we
a
go.
base hit. So a runner aboard to start the inning. Swing and a high fly ball hit in the air left center field. This one's got a chance. Suttles heading back on it. And he snags it.
Got it.
A fantastic leaping catch by Mule
Even
Suttles,
unlocked
and he
a
robs
robbery.
homer.
Rob a home run. Nice catch.
I think one of the things that have oftentimes been misconstrued as it relates to the Negro Leagues is that they played against lesser competition. Well, that's absolutely not true. Within their own league, they were playing some of the best baseball that could be played. But they also played a number of exhibition games against major league teams or major league all-star teams. And in those games, Mule Suttles dominated. In an exhibition game against major leaguers, Big Jim Weaver asked shortstop Leo DeRocher how to pitch to the big slugger, and DeRocher answered, just pitch and pray. When Mule Suttles would come to the plate, fans would start to chant, kick, Mule, kick. They wanted to see their Mule Suttles do something special, and more times than not, he did. In the winters before and after the 1929 season, Mule Suttles played in Cuba, and he hit one of the legendary home runs of all time. A ball that sailed over 500 feet and landed in the ocean there in Cuba.
Swung out and crushed.
And there it is.
Back to center. And
First shot. I like it.
Out of the stadium. A tremendous homer for Mule Suttles. The 2-run shot, and it gives him the lead.
Got out of there. Dead
It's
center, too. I like that
2-0.
stadium.
Mule Suttles jumped ship in 1936 after the American Giants started to have some financial issues, and he landed with the great Newark Eagles, where he became 1/4 of one of the greatest infields of all time. It was called the $1 Million Infield. They were dynamite. He hit .396 with 36 home runs in 1936, a .420 batting average and 26 home runs in 1938, and a .325 batting average in 1939. Yeah, Mule felt quite comfortable with the Newark Eagles.
Wall.
In the air to left center.
That might go in the gap. Is it going to drop, though? It dropped.
Runner from
What's going to happen,
second
y'all?
crosses the plate. The
It's not going to give me credit for it. Watch. I bet you it don't.
Out towards right center. That's
It
well.
might go out in the gap, baby. Drop. Drop out there. Drop out there. Get the second.
Score at least one. One run across.
Oh,
Another
yes,
comes in
sir,
to
baby.
score,
That was
and they
all
now
me.
lead. Oh, this one high and
Please,
deep.
God,
Right there.
Jesus, stay
Gone.
fair.
Mule Suttles hammers a grand slam for the Eagles.
In 2024, a historic milestone occurred when Major League Baseball rolled the stats of the Negro Leagues into the record books of Major League Baseball. It was a watershed moment, I dare say, not only for black baseball history and the history of the Negro Leagues, but I certainly believe for the history of our game and American history. And now Mule Suttles' career slugging percentage ranks him 5th in baseball history at .621. His career OPS ranks 10th all-time. His career batting average ranks him 19th all-time in baseball history at .340. Mule Suttles was inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He finally got a chance to cross over that threshold into baseball immortality in 2006, some 40 years after his death. Mule Suttles' $1 Million Infield teammate Dick Say summed it up pretty good. He said once he got that big bat started, you could feel the earth shake. Mule Suttles carried the wagon like very few ever did.
Game season like we have now, Boog, his typical year would be hitting .336.
Oh, he missed it.
31 homers and
That'll be a
153
double.
RBIs. That's nuts.
I need 2 more bases.
Well struck right field.
Get out of here. Go,
This
go, go,
one's
go,
got a
go.
chance. And boom goes
Oh, thank
the
you.
dynamite.
Couldn't have done that the first at bat.
Pop Lloyd, who hailed from Palatka, Florida. Pop Lloyd was a 5-tool superstar, without question one of the greatest Negro League players, and I think you can make a case of one of the greatest players in baseball history. A shortstop that hit cleanup, and he played for some great teams. Big man with great range, soft hands. When he played in Cuba, his nickname was El Cuchara, the tablespoon, because he could pick it as well. On our Field of Legends at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, we actually have him at second base, even though his position was shortstop. But of course, if you played in the Negro League, you were going to play multiple positions. Pop Lloyd earned his nickname just in time because he would always get that runner at first, seemingly just in time. And he wanted to showcase that great arm. So he let you get almost beyond halfway down the line, you digging it, you think you got it, and pow! No, you don't. And then he'd stand over there and he'd be grinning and laughing. And I'm sure it irritated the guys, but there's nothing you can do about it.
They mad cause I managed the reign so long. Like they chance to get money done came and gone.
Put in play, deep in the hole at short. Oh, what a diving stop by Lloyd. Over to first. Throw to first in time.
Got him.
To the right side, Waters. The underhand flip. There's one. Ball game. Pop Lloyd, the walk-off hero for the Hilldale Club.
Pop Lloyd not only was a tremendously gifted athlete, Pop Lloyd was a student of the game. In 1910, John Henry Pop Lloyd matches up in an epic showdown series against Ty Cobb's Detroit Tigers. He hit .500 to lead all hitters. But what is also forgotten is that in that series, Pop Lloyd became one of the early pioneers of the shin guards. He had heard about the tenacious way in which Ty Cobb oftentimes would slide into second base. And so to protect himself, he had these steel inserts added to his socks. Legend has it that Ty slid in spikes high, and he connects with that steel shin guard, and man, he went flying across the infield. And so not only did he play brilliantly, he actually outsmarted some guys in that series as well. He was a very intelligent ball player, which why I do believe that he fit right in with Andrew Rupe Foster's Chicago American Giants. They reigned as Western champions 3 times during his 4-year tenure with the team. And who was in the middle of this? You guessed it, John Henry Pop Lloyd. The bigger the moment, the better John Henry Pop Lloyd was.
Out towards right center. That's
finally
carrying well. And boom goes the dynamite. Line drive, and this might be trouble. Now he'll turn for second. The relay in safely. It's a double and his second hit.
Fellow Negro Leaguer and future Hall of Famer William Judy Johnson recalls a story that he heard recounted from the great Major League manager Connie Mack. Mack talked about Lloyd in comparison to Honus Wagner. And as Mack would so eloquently say, you could put them both in a bag, shake them up, pull one out, and whichever one you pulled out, you were going to be okay.
Either one you pull up says you wouldn't be cheated, because he was a great ball player.
That, to me, exemplifies the rich talent that we're talking about with John Henry Pop Lloyd. The superstar players in the major leagues knew that the players in the Negro Leagues could play. Honus Wagner, who has been widely regarded as the greatest major league shortstop, said it was an honor to be compared to Pop Lloyd. Babe Ruth called Lloyd the greatest baseball player he had ever seen. The one thing that we know, and this still holds true today, great athletes appreciate other great athletes. And the only way you can measure how good you are is by competing with and against the very best.
Does anybody know?
Hard grounder into the outfield for a knock.
Yeah, we turn it into a double, but we're going to try.
For second. Swims around the tag, and he's safe at second. Base hit. 1 run is in. Now a second crosses the plate. He is safe. Flair into shallow center. Pop ranging back for it. Oh, and he hauls it in with it over the.
It was pop that came off of his bat. But in his later years, it was the wisdom that he brought to the table. He was a baseball lifer. He wanted to share his knowledge, perhaps the same way in which Rube Foster shared that knowledge with him. He wanted to pass along that baseball knowledge to other young, aspiring players. And as a result, he endeared himself to so many kids thinking about playing this game, and he became Pop, a name that was certainly befitting of this great baseball player and baseball mentor.
I learned more about baseball that 1 year than all the years I played baseball. Is that right? He always had an encouraging word. He'd say, nice, son, nice going, son.
John Henry Pop Lloyd passed away on March 19th, 1964. 13 years later, he was immortalized with his induction in 1977 into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
Hard liner. Should be extra bases. One runs in. A second scores as well. Throw cut off to third. And he's got no chance. He's out. So 2 down. Here's the shortstop.
Had to trap 3.
At the
Got 2.
Pop Lloyd. Swing at a ground ball. Base hit. That
another one.
Smoke through the infield. So a 2-out knock keeps the inning alive.
One is insane. Although he just did it.
A seed into center. That's a base hit. And the leadoff man aboard.
All right, Pop Lloyd completed. Gonna get a pitcher.
One of the great nicknames in Negro Leagues baseball history, and there were some great nicknames, belong to one of the 3 women who called the Negro Leagues home. My dear friend, the late, great Mamie Peanut Johnson.
My love, we used to move you.
And she was a pitcher in the Negro Leagues with a strong right arm. She earned that nickname when the Monarchs' leadoff hitter looked out and said, how you expect to get anybody out? You ain't no bigger than a peanut. She was only 5'3", and she promptly struck him out.
You're out.
And she was Peanut from that day on. Born in 1935 in Ridgeway, South Carolina, Mamie Peanut Johnson had always loved the game of baseball. Fish Tyson, who had seen Mamie own the sandlots there in South Carolina, who thought that she had a little extra something, and he encouraged her to give it a chance to try to play pro baseball. And so she took him up on this and ultimately landed a tryout with the Indianapolis Clowns, the same Indianapolis Clowns team that the legendary Henry Aaron began his career. And of course, by that time, the Clowns had already hired Toni Stone, the first female to play regularly in a male professional baseball league there with the Indianapolis Clowns. And Mamie makes the team, and history would be made, becoming the first female pitcher in professional baseball.
Getting out of this. Got him. Peanut Johnson. To the right side, Hartman. Handles, throws to first.
He said, I felt like a big wet dog in a heavy blue coat.
Goes down looking. Cuts and misses. Strike 3, and that's 2 in a row. This one in the air, center field. Owen moving under this one.
Yo, she's got some speed.
And that is the 3rd out of the inning.
Me being the only woman pitcher out there, hey, that made me know that you are better in this than a whole lot of other people.
Yeah. Mamie Johnson was a deceptively hard-throwing pitcher. I think that's what surprised a lot of the fellas, because you see this woman and you don't think that she can get it up there, and she got it up there in a hurry. But she also had a great repertoire of pitches, including, along with that fastball, a slider, circle change, and she'd even break off a screwball every now and then. And of course, she learned her curveball from the legendary Leroy Satchel Paige. She posted an incredible 33-8 record over her tenure with the Indianapolis Clowns. I know it's eye-raising, but it's true. And she would often talk about also earning the respect of the fellas. They didn't treat her like a woman playing on the team with them. They treated her like a ball player. And that was, for her, a tremendous badge of honor that went along with a tremendous record that she was able to post while playing in the Negro Leagues.
And like a bat hit hard with a blazing fastball.
For her first training camp, she proved herself by winning her first. Out number 3 is Peanut Johnson. Hammered down the line, base hit. 1 run across. Another comes in to score. Cut off, throw to second. In there. That's a double.
People wanted to see Mamie Peanut Johnson take the mound. The word had started to spread about this tiny woman who was throwing this blazing fastball and getting these guys out. And so people wanted to naturally see this kind of phenomenon. She drew a huge fan base. Now, was the Clowns motivated by that? Of course they were. It certainly had a marketing slant to it. But what in business doesn't have a marketing slant? But it doesn't diminish the women's ability. Not only was Mamie Johnson a standout pitcher, she was an outstanding utility player. She would oftentimes fill in at second base. She could field her position. Obviously, she had a great arm at that position because she was already pitching. And of course, she could hit. The records kind of reflect somewhere between 260 and 285 over her playing career, which made her more than just a novelty. It made her a ball player.
Next to hit. Comebacker to the mound. Peanut fields. Tosses to first. Out number 3.
And engineering at New York University.
As a registered nurse, and she did that for
in the stands. They've actually met a couple of years earlier.
Swing and a ball popped up. 1 away. Cut on and miss. Struck him out. On the ground, and this should do it. Ball game. Peanut Johnson slams the door for Indianapolis.
If you're familiar with the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, that was the league that was the inspiration for the hit film A League of Their Own. Mamie was denied an opportunity to try out because of the color of her skin and the belief that black did not represent beauty. But as fate would have it, she would get an even better opportunity to compete with and against the men in the Negro Leagues with the Indianapolis Clowns. But if you ever saw that film, you might recall one scene near the end of the film where the ball kind of gets loose when they're practicing and this black lady is walking by and she picks it up and she fires it back in and everybody's astounded at how hard she threw the ball. Well, the late, great Penny Marshall directed that film. That was her tribute to Mamie Peanut Johnson.
Baseball gave me a sense of responsibility. I learned to be somebody.
Mamie Peanut Johnson epitomizes the kind of athlete that called the Negro Leagues home. You see, there's been this misnomer that these athletes were vagabonds, tramps, hobos, illiterate. That's not true. Mamie Peanut Johnson studied at NYU, and Mamie Peanut Johnson would have a 3-decade-long career in nursing, helping others, taking care of others. That is what made Mamie Johnson not just a standout baseball player, but a standout human being. That is why her story is such a powerful, prominent story that we are proud to share at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
Respect of your peers. For Peanut Johnson, her Clowns teammates became like 20.
And down on strikes.
Got him right on the corner.
Now. And it's 3 up, 3 down for
Got him.
Peanut Johnson.
There's going to be Rare Achievement Unlocked MLB Historian 26. Complete 4 Negro League storylines. We're also going to unlock James Cool Papa Bell. If you're watching this over on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and turn those bell notifications on. As always, I am Morvek593, and I will catch everybody next time.